Hi, I'm Scott Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter, and I am here with Samantha Bee from Frontal. Thank you for joining us. If you're hearing anything in the background, it's because this is a celebration of Samantha Bee and Frontal tonight.
Royal party happening
Going
outside.
out there, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you on the West Coast. We don't normally
you.
have you out here. So I guess I wanted to just go back to the origin story of Frontal. What was it that after 12 years of The Daily Show, longest serving, first female correspondent there, what led you to sort of take a big chance and leave that to try, go out on your own at TBS, a whole new thing?
I will say the faith of TBS is what allowed me to do that. They approached me. They really did approach me, and they were like, this is so, I say it with a lot of emphasis because I think it's very uncommon for a network to say, hi, we believe in you, and we're interested to know what you would like to do.
That is
if you would like to do it here.
Right.
So that is a very rare gift.
And maybe the first time people really started talking about the show was in 2015. Before it even debuted, we saw this silly photo in Vanity Fair. I think it was like a dozen men in tuxedos and looking like it was out of Mad Men. And this was supposedly the late night field of hosts.
Yes.
And people said, wait a minute, I think you're missing somebody. And your graphics department stepped in.
No, not even.
No, I know.
My graphics department was like 2 people, basically. It was that big landscape of the late night hosts, and they were all men in suits holding cocktails, and there was a gap in the picture at the accidental on their behalf, but right at the seam there was just this big hole missing. And my friend Elena texted me, and she was like, wait a second, check this out. And then people were tweeting it at me, and I was like, oh my God. And my heart started beating. And then Miles Kahn, who is now an executive producer of the show, had this weird photo of me
and it was
as a centaur. A
lot of people, first of all, loved the idea of putting you in as a centaur, but also it showed, I think, that so many people were itching for you to be there, right? I mean,
people really responded to it. And it made me feel very happy that we were about to make a show. I thought, okay, because you kind of make a show in a vacuum, and you're like, well, I wonder if anyone's interested in this. And then all of a sudden, people did care. I could see it. It physicalized that for me.
So in 2016, when it actually went on the air for the first time, you became the first female ever to host a late night satire show. It's a long speech there,
I love
thing.
It.
But first of all,
that's crazy.
It is.
Just when you say that.
Well, why did it take so long, and what do you think? Just not that everything's about gender, but in this case, what might a female host of a late night satire show bring to the table that photograph of men might not?
Well, you know what? I think that there was. It's amazing that the show had not existed before, but when I was working at The Daily Show and pitching shows elsewhere, I do recall that there was a spirit in the air that was like, well, why would we do another political satire show? We have one.
Right.
We have this one. That's all we need. And now there's room for other people's voices.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure why it took so long, but I benefited from it.
Yeah, no, well, so how did you arrive at the idea of 21 minutes once a week as there's a whole array of different formats for the folks that are sort of in your field.
Sure.
Why is that the one that makes the most sense for you?
Well, for one thing, I like to do field work. I like to go out in the world. I like to go interview people off-site. And doing a strip show just does not accommodate that. Then you would be I would be working around the clock, and I do have a life to live. So, really 1/3 of the show takes place somewhere else, and that is a lot of travel. There's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot that goes into the whole product, but I knew that we would not be able to do that piece of it if we stripped the show out.
Right.
I didn't want to hear myself 4 nights a week. I'm great with one.
And you were saying when we previously sat down that it's almost unimaginable, right? Because you guys are killing yourselves. In some ways, it's hard. In a lot of ways, it may be harder to do one a week where you've got to make that great, right?
You're processing things in a different way. I don't want to say it's harder, because it is very hard to do a strip. It is very hard to do 4 shows a week. Really, really hard. It's grueling, actually. this is not that. It's difficult in a different way.
Yeah.
It's difficult in a kind of a processing way. And, you know, we give a lot of attention to the stories that we tell. So, you know, it's all hard work.
Yeah.
Just in different ways.
Deeply researched stuff you guys do. What was I think people should remember the show started during the run-up to the election, not afterwards.
Yes.
Was the kind of what you've called, I think, the outraged woman persona that you sort of have, like somebody with a little chip on their shoulder about idiocy, which is understandable.
Sure.
That existed from the start, right?
It did. Yeah, that was very intentional. I mean, listen, it was intentional in the sense that there's no way that, I mean, I didn't have any idea that the show would last. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, okay, what we'll do is we have a couple of shows to play with. Like, we have an order for 6 episodes. So we'll make 6 episodes of TV that we've always wanted to make.
Right.
Make it just how we want to make it. And then when we get canceled, we will know that we have this little gem of this 6-show run, like a calling card for other things, and we will just have done exactly what we wanted to do. And as it turns out, it had legs, and it was fine, and it was sustainable.
Well, and we should just note that in the first season, after one season, viewership was up 167%, especially, though, with adults 18 to 34. Why did young people in particular respond to that persona, the whole show?
The one thing that I think you can tell when you watch the show is that it really comes from the heart. It comes from a deep place.
Right.
You know, it comes from all of our voices kind of merging into this stream. And I think young people crave young people. Let's talk about what the youngs want. The key demographic. No, I think people across the board just want to see something that feels like it comes from something real.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I like to watch. That's why I can barely watch anything.
So what changed on election night 2016 in terms of, obviously we know what changed in the country, but in terms of your job and even your day-to-day interactions with people out in the world? I know social media, for instance, started to look different.
Social media started to look different immediately, and I just think there was just something in the air. Everything just shifted that day, and it remains true to this day.
Yeah.
But you know, I do feel.
Yes.
Agree with me or disagree with me. At least there's a sense that we're all in it together.
Right. That's a very positive way of looking at it. Well, so did it, from a logistical standpoint of putting on a show every week, did life get, I know this is a selfish way of looking at it, but did doing the show get easier or harder when you have this kind of buffoonery happening all the time?
I don't think it got easy. It did not get easier. Yeah. It's not always easier when there's so much to choose from. You know, and things move so quickly that you can walk away from your phone and 5 hours later everything looks different. So that's actually really a frustration. It would be nice just to have just a tiny element of predictability. You really do crave that. You would be okay with a sort of more normal situation in the White House? Just like if it was 25% more stable. Right. We would all benefit. We would all be in a better place. So in the last year, the show won an Emmy for the White House Correspondents parody that you guys did, satire that you did, nominated for Variety Talk Show, which is a big thing. What is it about the year since that recognition now, because we're about to come through another cycle of this, is there an episode that you were proudest of from this past season? I think our Weinstein coverage was really strong. Yeah. I was really, really proud of that. Yeah. That was really, I'm proud of the way that we've handled that material, for sure. Yeah. I would say that really stands out for me. I'm proud of our Puerto Rico episode. We did a special in Puerto Rico. Yes. Really, really proud of that too. I'm proud of the show. I think we work really hard, and we're really just an awesome team of people. Yeah. And I really care about everybody, and I think that I hope it shows. Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you for fitting us in while you're out here. Thank you. All right. It's a pleasure.